Okay, fuck, he's got my gun! He's got my gun! You're about to die, my friend! Let go! Let go! Fuck!
Number 4, Reed Duran. A 35-year-old individual named Reed Duran found himself in police custody in Ohio under highly distressing circumstances. The chain of events unfolded when Duran reportedly assumed the role of a parent during an open house at St. Brigid's School in Xenia. The school's principal, discerning Duran's peculiar conduct on the school grounds, acted swiftly by dialing 911 to report an intruder, characterizing him as a potential danger. When officers arrived at the school, they questioned Duran in the parking lot. Initially, he provided a variety of explanations for his presence at the open house, but eventually, he admitted to a truly horrifying plan. He confessed that he intended to lure a young child with candy laced with drugs, specifically with the intention of obtaining sexual favors. It's a deeply disturbing and chilling revelation. The most alarming part of this whole ordeal was captured on surveillance video in the interrogation room. In the footage, we see Duran seated in a swivel chair, seemingly calm, before suddenly grabbing a pen from the table in front of him. He lunged at Officer Nicholas Peters with the pen pointed menacingly at the officer's neck and face.
9-5, get a unit up here.
Thankfully, Peters managed to push Duran to the floor and gain control of the situation. It's a moment of sheer terror and tension. In the video, you can hear Officer Peters ordering Duran to put his hands behind his back, his frustration and disbelief palpable. It's an intense and distressing scene, to say the least. Duran now faces serious charges, including attempted kidnapping, felonious assault, and escape. He is being held in the county jail without bond, awaiting his legal proceedings. What adds another layer of complexity to this situation is Duran's family's statement. They claim that Reed Duran has been struggling with schizophrenia for several years. They insist that he has never been violent towards others and describe him as a gentle and considerate individual. This stark contrast between the man seen in the surveillance footage and the person his family knows is deeply unsettling. His mother, Melissa King, believes that the surveillance footage captures a side of her son that is not reflective of his true self. She believes that he was frightened and felt cornered during the interrogation. She emphasizes that he is not in his right mind and desperately needs psychiatric help. This incident is a sobering reminder of the challenges posed by mental health issues in our society. It's a complex and deeply troubling case that highlights the importance of both understanding and addressing mental health concerns to prevent such terrifying situations in the future. Number 3, Thomas Robinson. In a surprising turn of events, a 23-year-old named Thomas Robinson found himself in a highly alarming situation during his arrest. He bravely attempted to take a Cincinnati police officer's gun in a moment that was both dangerous and deeply concerning. This incident unfolded in a critical and distressing circumstance, leading to worries that Robinson might use the weapon to escape. Making matters even more serious were the severe charges Robinson was facing. These included allegations of his involvement in the tragic death of a 17-year-old in Westwood, an incident that had a profoundly saddening impact on the local community. On top of these charges, Robinson was also accused of drug possession and aggravated robbery, further complicating the situation. To prevent similar situations from happening again in the future, police departments are increasingly reviewing such events to refine their practices and enhance their readiness to deal with challenging situations. This unsettling experience serves as a powerful reminder for everyone involved, especially the officers who will undoubtedly reflect on it repeatedly to ensure they are better prepared for similar challenges. It's essential to stress that although the attempt to assault an officer and seize his weapon was undeniably alarming, Authorities emphasize that the outcome could have been much worse. Number 2, Terrell Rhodes. Terrell Rhodes, who is accused of the tragic killing of 2-year-old Amari Nicholson, found himself in a deeply concerning situation during an interview at the police headquarters. Following his arrest on May 12th, as detailed in a report from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Rhodes was taken into an interview room for questioning by detectives. However, it was during this interview that things took a distressing turn. Rhodes became visibly upset, repeatedly expressing his desire to leave and an apparent fear of returning to a particular place. The report indicates that one of his hands was handcuffed to the table, but this did not deter him from a sudden and alarming action. In a startling moment, Rhodes lunged at one of the detectives and managed to seize the gun from the officer's holster using his other hand. This turn of events led to a struggle, during which Rhodes uttered extremely concerning statements, including a threat to take someone's life. Despite the brief but intense struggle, law enforcement officers were able to regain control of the firearm. Rhodes continued to express deeply troubling sentiments, stating that he wished for his own demise. As a result of this alarming incident, additional charges were filed against Rhodes. Specifically, he now faces charges of felony, resisting a public officer with a deadly weapon, 4 counts, and felony assault with a deadly weapon on a protected person, 4 counts. These charges reflect the severity of the situation and the potential danger that unfolded during the interview at the police headquarters. Number 1, Michael Chad Breinholt. In a sobering incident, West Valley City has released body camera footage that sheds light on the moments leading up to the fatal shooting of a DUI suspect in a jail intake room beneath City Hall. The video reveals that Michael Chad Breinholt, aged 31, had a scuffle with officers inside the DUI processing area, during which he grabbed one officer's gun. Tragically, within seconds, he was shot at close range by the police. Remarkably, Breinholt was handcuffed with his hands behind his back throughout this alarming confrontation. The events leading up to this tragic incident began on August 23rd around 7 p.m., when officers arrested Breinholt following a call from a woman who reported that he had driven to a business near 2900 South and Redwood. The caller expressed concern about his disruptive behavior and suspected that he had been driving under the influence. Police took Breinholt into custody, and he was subsequently placed in the DUI processing area, a small room equipped with a desk, cabinet, seating for an officer and a suspect, as well as equipment for alcohol and drug testing. The video captures the distressing moments when Breinholt, seated in the intake room, informed the officers that he had a gun in his shoe. An officer reassured him and asked him to remain seated while promising to retrieve the firearm safely. However, the situation took a different turn when the officer didn't immediately take Breinholt's shoe and he attempted to stand. An officer calmly advised him against resisting, emphasizing that it wouldn't end well for him. Still, Breinholt persisted in his efforts to remove his shoe despite being handcuffed. A struggle ensued between Breinholt and 2 officers, during which one officer managed to seize the shoe. What appeared to be a relatively routine situation took a shocking turn when one of the officers suddenly realized the gravity of the situation. In a desperate moment, an officer yelled, "He's got my gun!" A third officer rushed into the room, and a frantic struggle ensued. One officer even warned, "You're about to die, my friend." Moments later, a single shot was fired, frighteningly close to Breinholt's head, and he was seen lying in a pool of blood. Another officer sadly confirmed, "He's dead." The entire sequence of events, from the initial attempt to get the man's shoe to the fatal shot, transpired in approximately 6 seconds, according to the police. Police Chief Colleen Jacobs emphasized that officers often encounter unpredictable behavior when dealing with intoxicated individuals. Some people become combative, while others are compliant or passive-aggressive. However, the escalation of such situations to this extreme level is exceptionally rare. Salt Lake City Police are conducting an investigation into the shooting, as mandated by the valley-wide officer-involved critical incident protocol. As the investigation unfolds, questions remain about whether Breinholt truly had a gun in his shoe and whether a thorough search of the suspect was conducted before his custody. Officers are trained to perceive attempts to disarm them as a grave threat, requiring an aggressive response. Under Utah law, officers are justified in using deadly force if they believe it's necessary to prevent death or serious injury to themselves or others. Once the Salt Lake City Police Department completes its investigation, the case will be handed over to the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office, which will determine whether criminal charges should be filed against the officer who fired the fatal shot. The officer involved in the shooting, who has not been identified but is described as a veteran officer, has been placed on paid administrative leave during the ongoing investigation. Have you ever wondered about the measures taken to ensure safety during interrogations? Share your comments and experiences below. If you found this video informative and would like to stay updated on more engaging content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.